Welcome back, everyone. I'm the Depressed Eeyore, and this is Langrisser Mobile Apex Season 12. Alright, so this is done on the earliest time slot on a Sunday. I was pretty exhausted and had a headache, but obviously I wanted to get my win for the week, so this is hopefully going to be it. Anyway, needless to say, I kind of breathed a sigh of relief when I saw this box, because I was like, this is not bad at all. It's 3 tank, 3 healer, with kind of just only a handful of anything that would be even remotely close to a threat. They have a few assassins, some AoE, and that's kind of the gist of it. So I got rid of Epsilon immediately because I'd rather deal with White M at this point rather than Epsilon. My opponent gets rid of Lightbringer, which is a rarity nowadays. They grab Christiane, so at this point I went ahead and banned their Rosen Seal and go ahead and grab their Sherry. This will force them to take a healer. And I will of course take my remaining tank, which is Christiane, which I haven't used in a while. Go ahead and ban my Sword and Light and Shadow and my Sherry. Oh, I guess for updates are on the box. Sword and Light and Shadow is 6 stars. Girl in the Shell is 5 stars. And 7 out of my 15 characters in this box are maxed out on casting patterns. I believe it's both my tanks, Girl in the Shell, Lucretia, Auden Kelmo, and Iron Blood Commander are all maxed out right now. Yeah, I think that's all of them. Let's see, 4, 5, 6. Oh, and Sword and Light and Shadow, of course, are maxed out on casting patterns. I'm currently working on Shifaniel, who is at least like 3s in all of her equipment slots, so she's a bit stronger now. So they grab Liana. And at this point, I was like, alright, I don't want to deal with your guard bypassing nonsense. Got rid of D-Heart. Got rid of their Lucretia. Grabbed my Lucretia. They went ahead and got rid of my Rosen Seal and my Armblood Commander. They grabbed Kyura. Now, at this point, I got a little dumb. Like I said, I was pretty tired and wasn't really fully thinking straight here. I did get rid of White M and Bozol. That's not really a problem. The problem is I went ahead and grabbed Shifaniel, completely forgetting about Kyura's talent, which allows her to essentially heal whenever she gets hit by any indirect attacks. So, not exactly the wisest decision, but Shifaniel, a lot of times I usually bring Shifaniel not just for the AoE damage, but just for the AoE dispelling. They went ahead and they got rid of 2 of my remaining healers, so I have 1 healer left. They got Juggler, so yeah, Juggler with Kyura. You're not gonna be killing anything with Shifaniel AoEs, but the spells will still work just fine. So at this point, I get rid of the remaining DPS, allowing them to take another tank or healer. Florentia would not be able to have any reliable way of getting strategies, and then grabbing Hilda at this point would be kind of not that useful, since I'm just going to be spellcasting my way through all of this. Go ahead and grab Sophia since I had to grab a healer. They get rid of my Girl in the Shell and Yulia. So I was left with essentially my 2 holy characters. Both of them are not princess, so they will not be able to get faction buffed. But I do have Sophia, so I can at least do the pseudo buffs from her. They grabbed Florentia, and for me, I went ahead and actually grabbed Azusa. I think this will be the first match, Apex match ever that I actually used Azusa. Alright, so I think everything here is 6 stars. I'm not entirely certain. Florentia did not have exclusive. She did bring mass attack, so she can actually buff Kyura. Kyura went full offense with Faceless. Liana, Shiny Radiance, full heals. Well, not full heals, sorry. Heals and act again. Juggler, Steel Mains with the standard offense setup with 3C, B-Shock, and Triton. Christiane went Templar Knights, which is probably a smart decision since I was going to try to counterpick the Angels. Everything else is pretty standard for her. And then Lucretia, full offense with Firebrand Snipers. Once again, I forgot to swap out Heaven Sanction for her other AoE that she can actually do every turn that does dispels. I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but I forgot. Today, before recording this, I did actually go to Shafaniel and swap her skill out, so I won't have to forget anymore. Besides that, she went Stride Maidens. She is holy, and she is, I think, immune to fixed damage, so she should be safe from assassinations. Asusa here. This is pretty much what you'll usually see with Asusa Faith with her, and then both her exclusive skills, her 2-cost and her 3-cost. Christiane here, Angels, and then pretty much the same kit. And then Sophia here, Shrine Maidens with 3C, Rewind, and Heal. For those who don't know how Asusa works, she gets a raw increase in attack, and then her intelligence is replaced with her attack. So her attack and intelligence are always the same. At the start of battle, she'll get a non-dispellable buff that gives her +3 mobility, and if she's ever forced into battle, essentially it forces the enemy to attack with their lower attack stat. So, for example, Kyura has higher int than attack. If she were to attack Asusa, she'll be forced to attack with her attack stat rather than her int. Troops don't matter because they don't have all troops, even the spellcasting, the magic using ones, are attack based. So you can still die from things like troops and stuff like that, but for the most part, it kind of guarantees that you can at least tank a hit from something. The only thing that can really counter Asusa is another Asusa, or someone that just happens to have really ridiculously high damage with damage dealing troops. Now, when she does get hit, she does lose the buff and loses the mobility. But every time she uses a offensive skill, she'll get a stack based off whether or not it's physical or magic. And if she happens to have both a physical and magic stack at the same time, and she doesn't have the buff, she'll get a heal. She'll get healed back to full HP and get the buff back. So you essentially alternate between the two elements to refresh your defenses. Anyway, let's go ahead and dive right into this. So, really, there's not that much danger here. Juggler's going to be annoying, but as long as I don't let Juggler get next to Christiane, I don't really see Juggler doing much. He can try to B-shock his way through Christiane, which maybe he could. I don't know. Kyura is, of course, an assassin, which is always dangerous. She may be 4 range, I'm not sure. Because I don't know if she has the range staff or not. But Kyura is definitely not killing Christiane. Definitely not getting through Angels and Christiane's high magic defense. Asusa has her little barrier thing that, of course, will make it so her first attack doesn't do much. Both Shafaniel and Sophia are immune to fixed damage, are holy, and have Shrine Maidens, so Twilight Star doesn't do anything. So really the only thing that Kyura can even reliably kill is Lucretia, either by killing her twice or killing the pet and then killing her. So it's really kind of just a nasty little I'm rather bulky against this particular box. So opening with Triton. So yeah, I'm being really aggressive with my pushing. And of course my opponent gets Breeze immediately. So with this and Act Against and all that, she's going to be able to get some hits in. So with that, I was like, alright, fine. I'll move in, do my 3C, so I can get some guard coverage. So as you can see, they're already getting set up. Sudden Strike. So yep, so she does have the range staff, so she went straight for my pet there. Wow, did she use her 3C for that? That is... just you Magic Shine. Your 3C does more damage. I don't know. Anyway, so I did lose my pet already, and conveniently she teleported just out of range to actually counterattack, because my Lucretia does not have a range staff. So I was like, oh, cool. I'm going to lose my Lucretia then. Oh yeah, and then there was a 10U proc on Juggler here. Either that or it was Breeze, I didn't pay attention. Now he's gonna do this. So I did put my Christiane in a position where she could not be adjacent to Juggler. Because I have pillars there, and then I have the 2 characters there. So I don't have to worry about B-Shock screwing me over. But, yeah, I wasn't really sure about this sudden aggression. Honestly, I would have just held back with Juggler. Because this AoE is not going to do anything. If anything, it just puts Juggler in danger. He does have a bunch of immunities, but not any immunities to defense. So I was like, alright, well, I'm just going to hit you with Impure Shockwave. I am holy, so I shred your werewolves. Not quite a kill, but Juggler doesn't really have a way of falling back. Actually, no, sorry, he does. Yeah, I'll point that out. So he could actually go back into range here and be possibly safe. Shifaniel might still be able to get kill with AoE. I'm not entirely certain. But here comes the AoE again. Or not AoE, sorry, the Assassinate here. Yeah, if she had did the reverse, use Magic Shine on the pet and then Star Slash on Lucretia, she could have used the Star Slash to heal Juggler, though it would keep her in danger. In any case, I was like, alright, cool, I'm gonna go ahead and just punch you. So I do magic damage here. I got wrecked by thorns, unfortunately, but that's fine. So, again, Kyura, so this is not going to really do any lasting damage. And unlike Juggler, the only disadvantage about Juggler's healing talent is it's based off Juggler's current HP. Kyura's is not. The only restriction for Kyura is it only heals 2 characters, herself and 1 other. But besides that, it always does essentially the maximum amount. The other thing I guess I should point out is since Florentia did use her act again already, she has literally no stacks or no battle strategies. She can get up to 2 from her 3C, but if it doesn't get a clock proc, that's pretty much it for her as far as her talent is concerned. So I went ahead and did Rewind. I do have the staff that dispels 1 debuff, so I went ahead and used that to get rid of the Juggler debuff that was making everything be treated as water. Because it was either that or I do my 3C, so I was like, I might as well just do Rewind and refresh everything. It also made it so I can instantly refresh my 3Cs for both characters. Also, I think I had a 10U Breeze proc there, so I'm actually going to take advantage of that here by moving up and taking the center. And just doing some blooms here just to get the stacks away. So again, doing 3C. Again, don't care about actually killing anything. Just gonna dispel more stuff. So with a Silence proc, I'm dispelling 3 buffs. Unfortunately, I got really bad luck on dispelling the guard buff this time around. So literally, it's one of the 2 last buffs that she had. So not much I can do there. Yep, so I'm right now boxing my opponent out completely. And the only thing that kind of sucks about Kyura is once she kind of uses both of her assassination techniques, she's kind of stuck for a little while. So she's still got another turn before she can actually do anything. And there you go. So I do have the mace that disables armor stuff, and I actually came real close to getting killed there. It was pretty close. I did the physical attack that time around, and now I have a stack of both physical and magic. So if I do lose the barrier, I can reapply it immediately. So I go ahead. So it was a bit weird here. Oh, I see what my opponent did. So yeah, my opponent applied the Floral Realm and tried to reduce AoE damage, but without the heal, but being at such a low percentage, I was still able to get kill with Heaven Sanction there. So I already took care of one of her reses. Now I finally got rid of their guard buff with the accessory, but it's a bit late now since they're in a plus formation. So, do an act again on her, probably just to refresh buffs or something like that. Actually, I don't think she can do anything, can she? Kaira's just going to heal that. That's fine. Yeah, so this is just to reapply the faction buff to get her so she's not completely exposed. Alright, so I do have my 3C still for Azusa, and it does have the ability to disable guard for 2 turns. So I go ahead and take advantage of that. So, Christian had first strike. Not as much damage that time around. So I heal myself, and then here's all the debuffs I have active right now. Yeah, all of this. So 5 debuffs. And one of them being that disable guard. So she goes ahead and does 3C at this point. And it dispelled two debuffs. One of them from the 3C and one of them because of Force Priest. And unfortunately, it got rid of the guard negating, so she's back to guarding, unfortunately. The other thing that's a little annoying right now is that AoE, while it didn't do very much damage, it did make it so I'm not 100% life. So Shrine Maidens are right now disabled. So I actually have to use this opportunity to do something about it, but instead I went ahead and opted to do AoE first. And again, I'm just trying to dispel buffs, and again, I'm failing to get rid of the guard again. Which it doesn't really matter, like I said, it kind of... they're in that current condition. Florentia had to spend an action to go ahead and reapply attack buff for Kyura because it only lasts for 2 turns. So that actually is going to give me the time I need to go ahead and get healed up. So she heals herself just to keep her at 100%. The last thing we need is to get, suddenly killed for whatever reason. So twin element protection. Triggers here, so even Star Slash. Yeah. Kyura did 1 damage with all of our attacks. So literally, she couldn't do anything. It was all troop damage there. But it did get rid of the talent for a brief moment, but since I had those 2 stacks from a while ago, I just passed turn to reapply it. So now it's back. Yeah, so that balloon, this small little AoE, while it doesn't really do very much, it's enough to break Shrine Maidens. So it's actually something I realized was going to be somewhat of an issue. But thanks to all the act agains that my opponent's been doing, I've had initiative every round. So I'm kind of able to do kind of whatever I want. And just... as long as I have Shafaniel go first, she'll self-heal back to full. Which is what I'm going to have to do because Magic Shine's come in. So pass turn because I didn't have any... all my stuff was on cooldown. Again, that's why I needed to switch off Heaven Sanction. That way I don't have dead turns like that. That and this Demolish skill dispels more buffs. Alright, so I went ahead and did a 3C just to heal everyone back to full. Since Christian again tagged everyone with the little AoE. Reapply Full Bloom. Again, I'm going to lose my twin protection. I also procced my armor, so I'm literally... yeah, it's just not going to do anything. And for right now, I'm kind of safe, because Kyra's, all of her assassinates are on cooldown again. So yeah, got hit with first strike here. Kill all their troops. As you can see, I'm winning very handily as far as damage is concerned. Also, the mist is closing in. Alright. Yeah, at this point, I'm not worried about the bloom because the assassinates are all on cooldown. So I'm doing a regular attack just to do some damage. Obviously, with 2 healers, it is what it is. So Heaven Sanction here. Again, just doing some damage. And hoping for procs to dispel some buffs. Reapplying the 3C again. As you can probably see, you can kind of guess what's going on here. So the act again here was just cycle cooldowns, I think. So she just passes turn so she can have cooldowns ready. So I was like, alright, well I'm just going to go ahead and heal then. So I'm not sure what the... I don't know what the plan here was. If the intention was to try to get a kill on Asusa, Kyra should have attacked immediately and not wasted an action doing Christian's buff. Because I don't have the talent active, I'm at full HP. So there's a pretty good chance that Kyra would have gotten killed there. I don't think it would have changed the outcome of the battle. Because at this point I have such a damage lead, and I'm still able to block them out in the mist. But since she didn't attack immediately, I'm able to just go ahead and do this, get my stack back, get back to full HP, and I'm good again. Oh, also she had to get attack. I think even without the attack buff, I think she would have gotten kill against Susa. Because I wouldn't have the damage reduction from the troops because I wasn't at max HP. And of course I wouldn't be, forcing her to use her 353 attack stat for because the talent was down. So I think she would have been able to get kill. Also, I was purposely waiting for the attack buff to come. And so I went ahead and waited for it and then did 3C to get rid of it. So at this point, she's shifting around. Since we killed Juggler, she doesn't have the mobility from her 3C. So as you can see, she's shifting around there. And then she just kind of just goes there, so she can actually... So I think the intention here was to give an open slot for Liana. But I'm willing to give up troops. And both my characters with Shrine Maidens will not be killed by Kyra. So I was just fine with just moving in and doing that. Also, I knew I was going to have initiative for the next round. So there goes Liana, and then I move back to where it was. So here it is. Magic Shine. So I said about her being able to get kill. That was not the case. I was incorrect. So yeah, even without the attack buff at the HP I was probably floating around, I don't think she would have been able to get kill. Maybe with Star Slash, but as you can see, Magic Shine was not enough. Even without the talent active, and even when not at full HP. So as you can see, at this point my opponent gave up because there's literally no way. My stuff was just too bulky for her to actually do damage. So literally the only kill that Kyra got was the one on Lucretia, which definitely set me back quite a bit. But it did, if my opponent hadn't rushed so much with Juggler, it would have been a lot more difficult for me to probably take full advantage. Still, I don't think it would have been the end of the world because I would have been guarding everything. I would have had to do some more shenanigans with the formation to make sure Juggler doesn't do B-Shock on me, or make it so the B-Shock doesn't, disable my guard. But yeah, the fact that Juggler kind of just got thrown away just made it a lot easier because Kyra was mostly magic damage, and majority of my team can endure that type of damage. Like literally, the only target that she had was Asusa, and Asusa had that talent half the time, so it literally just didn't do anything. So yeah, little standard tank push stuff. So I'm getting up there. Where we're floating at? Yeah, I think I'm back where I was when I lost a match. So I'm probably due in for another loss soon. But my win rate's been doing pretty well. Besides that, just to kind of point out, yeah. So I like I said, I did swap out Heaven Sanction for Demolish, which doesn't do as much damage, and it's not as fancy as of an AoE range or span, but it dispels buffs, and that's really all I care about it. But yeah, let's see, 4, 4, 3, 3, and 3. So yeah, she's getting up there. The event's been providing a bunch of cast patterns as well, which has been really helpful. I kind of wish they had kept the event where you can do any of the casting pattern dailies, any time in any day. But fortunately, that ended with the last update. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and call it here. I'm the Depressed Hero. This was Langrisser Mobile Apex Season 12. I'll see you guys next time.